It must be Wednesday because I'm looking at a Western Kentucky shirt out of Tennessee. I'm Charles Morse with the original Coach Carter, where we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. right here at www.youthcentralsports.com. Also on Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook. So how you doing there, Coach Carter?
Doing very well, thank you. How about yourself?
Hey, real quick, I want to say hi to my friend Myron Coney, who grew up in the neighborhood there by Rebout and Rains. How you doing, Myron Coney? But anyway, Coach, man, you know, we've been having some serious weather here in Florida. Man, we had a storm the other day that was off. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I thought a hurricane. I thought we was back in Kansas. I'm serious.
Yeah,
it was crazy. It was like a hurricane wind. It was, man, it came from out of nowhere, and it lasts for a long time. What's the weather like there?
We just had a little bit of rain. We were in the 80s. We just started to have a little bit of thunderstorms yesterday, tonight. In fact, it rained a little bit tonight. There's a celebration going on early July 4th, and it got rained on for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then it cleared right back up again. So we're expecting thunder showers again tomorrow, high 90s tomorrow.
Okay. Have you slowed down any? Because I know you've been busy with the kids and basketball and so on and so forth. So have you slowed down any?
Well, we're actually in a dead period up here right now, so yeah, I'm actually have the opportunity to slow down just a little bit, try to take care of some personal matters, but really just try to relax, rejuvenate myself, get myself geared up again, because by the time 2-week period is over, we'll be back at it again.
Yeah. No, okay. All right. Well, we're Youth Central Sports, and we've been around. Vince, how long we been doing this, man? What about?
Someone asked me that the other day. Well, it's been more this. Well, altogether, I think it's a little more than 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we've been around at least 5 years.
A minimum
how long
of 5
you been
years.
up in Tennessee now?
I'm coming up on my 5th year. So we've been doing this ever since I've been here. That's almost 5 years. And we were doing it before.
Hey, now I got to give a shout out because whenever like the crazy martial arts people come in, you know, into the room, I got to say something to the city of Orlando Police Department. Kirkpatrick, how you doing, man? It was good seeing you a few weeks ago over there at the Smith Center. So you got to make sure that you come and join us. And Goose just joined us too, you know, from. You know, oh, by the way, Vince, are you going out to Vegas? Because, I mean, Goose just joined us, so, and he's saying hi. Are you going to go to Vegas?
At this point, I don't think so, because I need to be out
because I know he was looking forward for, coming out.
Yeah, no, I had hoped to be able to do that, but it doesn't look like it, because I've got to get out there before I get down there, and that's not working out right now.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of what's going on,
I am coming to Vegas, though.
Oh yeah. Oh well. You got to hold him accountable for that. Now you heard him. He said that he's coming to visit you. So
I am coming to Vegas. I wanted to be there this summer, but I am coming to Vegas.
Be careful on the Strip, right? Right.
Oh, I know about the Strip.
Oh. All right, you might be able to teach Daniel something about the Strip, right?
Yeah, he can teach me about the city. I can tell him about the Strip.
Yeah, he's saying, "What's up?"
All is well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, I want you to talk about what's coming up on the 13th here in a couple of weeks. So. Once you
well, the summit itself is something I think everybody in the community hopefully will get a chance to come out and be a part of. Some very good information and opportunity to relationships and interact together. But specifically, there's a portion that's taking place where we're going to talk a little bit about sports, parenting, coaching, and young athletes, preparing them for the next steps, some do's and don'ts. Hopefully, some helpful information to help parents as they guide their kids through, something that maybe the young athlete might be able to pick up on, and just have a fellowship of common conversation as we talk about what's best for our young athletes as they move from one level to the next. Panel discussion. Hopefully, we'll be able to take some questions, be able to give some information that would help you guide, navigate through these interesting as your young athletes move from one level to another. So look forward to talking with you. Come out and join us. Should be interesting, and hopefully we can answer your questions.
Yeah, and then the thing too, Ben, we're going to stream it live on Facebook as well. So that time between 9 and 2 for people who want to tune in, ask questions, and want to get involved. And I'm hoping that we can do that because I'm going to go and see at the Smith Center. I was told that we're good on the internet, but you know how that is. I mean, we used to stream fine from the rec center, no problem. But I'm going to go check it out Monday to make sure that we can be live on Facebook as well as the site and Twitter as well. Because for people who are watching online, they may have questions and want to interact as well. So we're going to have that available.
Look forward to that.
All right. So I'm sitting. I don't fool with the Donnell said he don't fool with the strip.
Tell him I do.
What is it? Born and raised here and don't go down there at all. Okay.
Exactly. That's the same way I feel about Disney and all that. I'm born and raised down in that Florida area. I didn't go to Disney. That didn't interest me because I was born and raised. So I understand it, but tell him I can help him out.
He said you don't go down on the strip. Hey, I got a question though. When you go to Miami, do you go to South Beach?
Yes.
You go to South? Yeah.
I do. I also go to Overtown.
Yeah. Now, where you go when you go to Atlanta?
I go right dead heart of Atlanta.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway, a lot been going on in the wonderful world of sports. We talked about the summit coming up. Donnell, have you been to any of the games there because the summer league that's going on? Have you been to the game? And have you been following any of the games, Coach?
Yeah, there's nothing in Vegas. They won't be in Vegas until the 5th. They've been in Utah and in Sacramento.
Okay, so they're in Chicago right now.
But summer league?
Yeah. Where are they now?
No, they're in Sacramento.
Okay.
And in Utah.
Okay. All right. So
they'll be in Vegas on the 5th. They start playing in Vegas on the 5th.
Okay. All right. Have you been following the league at all?
Oh yeah, I've seen most of the games that they've televised. I've had a chance to witness them. I've been glued in front of the TV watching the play. Been some interesting play that a couple of teams have really looked well. Miami, surprisingly, and the Lakers squad had a good showing the other day. Spurs had a good one. Sacramento has had a good showing. So it was out in Sacramento, I think it was 4 teams. And in Utah, I think it's 14 there. So they use that as somewhat of a tune-up, if you will, before they get into Vegas.
Right. Donnell said, they start on Friday. Before we really get into the NBA, which we definitely have to talk about that. But you got anything special planned for the 4th for tomorrow?
No. It'll be a nice quiet day, do a little cooking, watch a little tennis, and get prepared for the basketball on Friday. That's about it for me.
All right. What about you, Donnell? You got anything special going on for the 4th? Now, what we normally do for me on the 4th is that we go over to Daytona. We go over to Daytona right there by the Main Street Bridge, camp out, have a little grill. We grill, fish, and then we wait for the fireworks. We got a perfect seat There's, I think there's about like 3 different shows, and then people bring their own fireworks too, because it's great. But I
Right.
mean, I mean, it's noisy, but it's, but it's a good noise because people having fun. It's safe. Um, but then you also see the fireworks from the pier. You see other fireworks from other parts of Daytona. But it's a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years. Danielle said that the game Saturday and Sunday, they all been sold out for over a week ago in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Right.
So, but let me see. He said, I'm working during the day, shooting fireworks with the kids, and drinking my wine at night. Oh, he know how to do it. Okay, okay.
That's a nice schedule.
Well, listen.
I would join them if I drank.
Are there any? And I asked you, and I asked Danelle or anybody else. Were there any surprises for you when it comes to the free agents? Now, not that we knew anything, but I don't know if you remember that. I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago when the rumor was that. Remember when we said that, and the word was actually it was a lock that that Kevin Durant and Kyrie was a lock to go to the Nets. Remember that?
I thought mostly they were talking about them going to the Knicks.
Maybe it been the Knicks. Maybe it was the
I
Knicks.
think the majority of the people felt that they were going. A lot of the conversation was about the Knicks, and one of the things I shared with most people who shared those uh, predictions and stuff like that. My fundamental premise is this: that all sounds good. It gets people excited when you start predicting that this one and this was going here. But the bottom line for me is, how do you pay for all of that? And if you can't pay for it, then it's not going to happen. And a lot of people banking solidly on this is because I had a guy call me the night before. You heard it here first. KD and Irving going to the Knicks. It's a lock deal. I got it from a good source. Next day they come out, they going to the Nets. And I told him, see, you can't bank on all that enthusiasm and prognostication from people who are just talking because it sounds good. They had several rumors out about things that were going to happen that were just simply a rumor. There was no truth to it at all. People just took it and ran with it. So for me, it's the bottom line. And right now, I'm not even sold yet on some of the stuff we've heard until they're inking on the 6th. Then it's real for me because so many different things could happen. The Jimmy Butler trade is up in the air until they solve that. I think they may possibly have solved it, but they had to bring another team in order to make that deal go down. So there's been many surprises. I think this was probably one of the best free agent opportunities we've seen in a long time, and this is pretty much what it was predicted to be. Teams have saved up their money to go fishing, and they're doing some serious fishing, and they're doing it early. So I think it's many surprises. I've seen some people re-sign and sign to places I didn't think they would even be able to play again. Then they got some people got traded because a lot of time it has to do with cap and money. So yeah, it's interesting, it's unpredictable, and I think it's exciting.
Well, Vince, we were just talking about we've been doing this show now for a period of over like five years. And on the show, on occasion, I've talked about my nieces and my brother, my nieces that you met, the twins, right? Well,
Yes.
out of the 5 years, this is the first time that my brother has tuned in. So I got to say hi to Worm.
Well, you
This is the
definitely
first
got to
time
say
in
hello to
5
him.
years. Because he don't know that we've talked about him and his daughters on this show on many occasions. But this is the first
That's
time
true.
Worm, what's up, Worm, has tuned in over 5 years. So what's up? Let me see. No crazy surprises, but I like what a lot of teams did personal-wise. Utah, Indiana. This is Danielle talking. Philly still lacks shooting nets when KD gets healthy. The turn surprises me. The trades surprise me more than the free agency moves. So
I agree.
right, yeah. So
But the
with that,
trades were an effort to create cap space and salary space. And that's to be expected when you start moving around money that they have out on the table now. There's no way these teams can afford all of that without moving some salary. That means you got to move some players, and some of those guys that got expiring contracts, they're pushing them out or trading them. I won't say they're pushing them out, but they're trading that salary out so they can make room for some of the others. So I agree with him. Some of those trades have been far more interesting than the free agent situation, but all those fits around the fact of making space. Miami had to do that for Butler. They had to move some people in order to make that deal go through. What's surprising to me is that some of the teams that have not really done much. I haven't heard Houston do a whole lot down there. They got a lot of chaos going on down there. They're almost dysfunctional, as dysfunctional as the Lakers are.
Um, the Knicks, the Knicks are left. What did the Knicks do? I mean, it's the
I
New
think the
York
Knicks were
Knicks,
smart.
man.
I think the Knicks. The
They
Knicks are
haven't
doing
had a
something they
good
haven't
team, and I
done
don't
in
know
the
how long.
past.
But Vince, you and I, we grew up with Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl and all those guys, and the
Yeah,
Knicks was, that was so long ago. But since Patrick
the
Ewing
Knicks have
and
been
and,
smart.
and, and Pat Riley and
The Knicks
they
just got
haven't been
smart.
relevant to anything in the
The
last
Knicks
I don't
just
know how
got
many
smart.
years.
What they did here most recently, they did a smart thing. They under this new management that they got and the people that and Fizz there, they kind of got the owner in a situation where, hey, let's be smart about how we spend our money, because the last few years they just really screwed that thing up there, jumping after people, getting bad contracts and having to get rid of. So what they did here, they couldn't get what they wanted, which was everybody was looking for an opportunity. So they did the next smartest thing. They've made some trades and some pickups that are going to help them build start that process of what their long term objective is, and they'll be competitive. They're not going to win much. I think they'll be a better team than they have been, but they're not going to be caught up in this free agent fringes because people have turned a bad eye toward New York right now. New York the Knicks as you indicated, was a huge mecca for basketball. It hasn't been that way, but this management group has decided that they're going to take a slow process, and it's going to be painful. And everybody's going to laugh at them and say, man, they're not doing anything. But if you look at what they're trying to do, they're trying to build this thing from a solid foundation that they can build on and maybe come back and attack it later. Maybe the next free agents out, but maybe next year there'll be some people moving around rather than jumping out there, getting money, throwing money at people they know they can't get, and holding money trying to get this top tier player that they can't compete for and lose out on everything. So they've kind of taken a back step. They're going to build it through the draft. They're going to build it through some trades, and it's going to be a process. They got some good talent. It's just young. It has the P word, the potential to be strong down the way, but will they be the mecca that we're used to? No, not right now. But they are making smart moves. They're making some good contract decisions. Instead of these 4 and 5 year deals, they're doing 1 and 2 year deals. So they'll be competitive and able to move people. If they don't fit what they want, they aren't able to perform. They won't have to swallow that big contract and sit on it. The Magic made that when the Magic first came in existence. They gave all of these long-term contracts. A lot of these players didn't pan out, and they ended up paying those guys, and they weren't even there anymore. And they just blew their salary up. So I think the Knicks are doing a good job, and they're being smart. And they're going to be patient, though.
Uh, were you surprised that they didn't offer Katie the max?
No, I'm not, because I think their concern was his health. That's what they said, and I think that's a legitimate concern. And for where they're trying to go, they can't wait that long. I think the Nets are in a situation. I'm not sure I agree with what the Nets did either, but they're in a better situation. They got a lot of young talent. They got some experienced talent, something the Knicks doesn't have. And I think they were smart to make an offer. I think you've been silly not to, but you had to make an offer that's best for you rather than just I'm gonna get a house away. And I actually thought they made the right decision.
Julius Randle, the Nelson said that he got paid.
He did. He got a good contract.
So yeah. So with that being said, who do you think is looking to be the favorite coming into the NBA finals?
Player?
For next
Oh, I think
next
it's
year.
too early to tell that. I don't think you can tell that until preseason to get. You really can't look at. I mean, on paper, I don't go by on paper. I've learned that things look good on paper, and everybody jumps out in front of that. I don't have a prediction at this time. I mean, I've seen some good moves. Moves are not final yet. Rosters are not set yet. There's still a lot of opportunities going to take place. You're going to be surprised if some changes come All-Star Weekend mid-season too. There are a couple of things that are sitting that's going to wait till the end of break. So for me, I don't have a prediction right now. I think it'll be interesting basketball. I think it'll be fan-worthy watching. It's not going to be total parity, but it's going to be so different than what we've been used to looking at. And there are going to be some teams that are in better positions than they've been before. That's the way I look at it. I think it's going to be exciting basketball, but a favorite, I won't predict. I think it's too early.
Okay. All right. I was having some little technical problems here, so I'm trying to fix that real quick. But coming up, talking about the Knicks, talking about the Nets, talking about. I mean, we got to talk about the Lakers. Got to talk about the Lakers.
We don't have to. We don't have to. You may want to, but you don't have to. The Lakers are still the Lakers. They're dysfunctional. They got two players, or they got three. They got Kuzma, and that's not enough to field a team. So you don't have to talk about them.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, long as LeBron is there, they're gonna talk about it. He,
As I said, you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. But looking at, I guess overall, and actually the cool thing about it is really wide open. Vince, don't you think it's wide open?
In terms of East and West,
Well, I mean, coming into next season, I don't think there's a true, well, you can say a true favorite to win it all.
well, yeah, no, I do think there. No, I think you can say that. I think it is open. It should be interesting how it pans out because some teams got stronger. Utah is one of those teams. I think they got really strong. I don't know what that's gonna. I don't know about. I can't say I make them a favorite, but boy, they got stronger. And I think that Philadelphia picked up a couple pieces that's going to make them in Boston. And so you're going to have some. We're going to have some shifts, I think, in the East and the West. Now, a lot of people are saying about that the Warriors will have an off year. I think the Warriors may not be the Warriors we know of in the past, but I think they're going to be competitive. Now, how far were they? I don't know, but some of the pieces that they got, but still, they're going to have adjustments like everybody else because with D not being there, then Clay still out. They're going to have to change and Iguodala having been traded out. They're going to make some. They're going to change the way they play. I think they're not going to lay down. They're showing every intent not to lay down. But I think their load management will be very crucial this year. I think it's gonna be really really stronger and Clay coming come playoff time because they're gonna rest as much as they can and get as much play from those other guys. But I agree, it's gonna be open. It should be the kind of ball that makes the NBA exciting.
Right. Well, let me ask you this here, Vince. I want to get off the NBA for a second. What's going on with
You
Ezekiel
can't get off
Elliott?
the
What
NBA
was
and
the
haven't
deal with
talked
it?
about Kawhi Leonard. There's no way you can not get off the NBA and haven't talked about Kawhi Leonard. Got to talk
Okay,
about Kawhi
okay,
Leonard.
okay, okay.
That's the elephant in the room.
No, no. Well, I mean, I was gonna come back to.
Nah, nah. You can't leave it
Okay,
with him sitting out there. I mean, that's the biggest conversation going on. Everything is on hold right now until Kawhi makes his decision. All there are many trades. There, Danny Green, he won't move until Kawhi make his prediction
right.
of where he's going. Likely he's going with him. So it's a lot of trade activity that's held up now, waiting on him. A lot of teams are sitting back and saying, before I go get anybody else, let me see where. And they may not be directly involved, but they want to see where would he go to, because then there's going to be some fallout for some other players that are going to be available. So Kawhi is creating quite a wave, but I kind of like the way he's doing it. He's not waving his own flag. He's just taking his time. I perceive it, that he's taking his time, making the best decision he can for himself and his family. I think he's a little bit by his experience in San Antonio, which was very surprising that it went down that way, but I think that has caused him to be very cautious moving forward. I would be scared of the Lakers, me personally. They're so dysfunctional out there, and what's going on, it would scare me, me personally, to go to Lakers. I'd go to the Clippers, or I'd go back to Toronto, or maybe I'd find some other team. The Lakers would be the last place I would consider, because they would just absolutely frighten me in terms of anything that they said. I don't know if I could believe it. But it's going to be huge. I mean, it's going to free the bottleneck of people moving, and you'll see a lot of things take place very quickly after he makes his decision. But I actually kind of like the way he's handling it. He's not making any noise. Everybody's being very quiet. His camp is being very quiet. He's doing his due diligence, asking the questions he wants to, sit and meeting with people face to face. And then he'll come back and make a decision. And quite honestly, he got a lot of time to make it. He got an awful lot of time to make
I
that
heard
decision.
a conversation, I think it was night before last, and they were talking about free agency, and they was talking about agents. And I guess the way that it works, and I was trying to understand it, that he can wait, but then there are a lot of free agents that can't wait, because what
Correct.
happens,
And
based
they've
on
executed themselves already.
based on what the guy was saying, was all the money is going to be dried up if you wait. And
Correct.
so if it's on the table, you got to take it. So you can't wait.
Right.
If you're one of these other players, that you got to take it now. So some players, some people ask, like, well, why did this guy get this deal? He should have got more. Well, based on what's available and who's talking to you and who wants you.
Correct.
So for somebody like Kawhi, he can wait, but other guys can't, because all the money's going to be gone, based on what the agent and what they were saying on the report.
Well, he's correct. I mean, people got to fill their rosters. And if they don't get tier 1 players, they got to come with tier 2 players. And they got to put players on the roster. And they got money to spend. A lot of them got money to spend. And you want to strategically spend your money, yes, without a doubt. You want to get the best available player for the money. But you also got to be smart about when you can't sit. Most of these teams can't sit. If Kawhi takes till after, let's say he decides he doesn't want to make a decision until next week, then an awful lot of players out there, they can't wait that long. And teams can't wait that long because of what they're saying. You know, after a while, my desire for you, I found another player cheaper. So I don't even want you anymore. I can go get this guy. You know, and then when they come to you, they're saying, listen, I want to fill this spot now, and I want to fill it with you. Here's what I've got to spend. You jump on that, because they got it to give right now. Where you say, well, I'm going to wait a while. A, they could end up having to spend that money or part of that money on another player. B, they could find another player that will come right away for that money or less. So, yes, everybody's got to move. Now, your top tier players, and most of them are gone. There are about 8 of them still standing out there that really could be. Boogie Cousins is one of them. He's still sitting out
Oh
there.
yeah, I
Kawhi's
mean
still sitting out there and stuff like that. So yeah, they're 100% correct.
now Boogie. Now he's another one that I want to talk about. And it was funny because I was saying, you know what, I'm going to ask you this question. I thought about it earlier today, and I want to ask you this question. For him to be one of the top big guys, however his game is, do you think overall his attitude has really hurt him? Over the
No,
last year or so?
I don't think so. I think it's just injury improving himself for a full season that he can be anywhere near the Boogie he was. I think his attitude situation is no longer a concern. I think it's his physical well-being now. Can he come and play a full NBA season at that level of play? I was kind of surprised in a sense that the Warriors didn't keep him. But when you look at some of the moves that they made, they're going younger. They're going a little bit younger. They're kind of going with some guys that play a different, because they're going to have to change the style of ball for a bit. And then money was a part of that too. Because Boogie wants to get paid. He possibly could have come back to the Warriors at a lesser amount. Excuse me, maybe for a year, then go get the big dollars, or he possibly could get them now. Now, I've been hearing and been reading, and from a couple of people that I spoke with, that most GMs and out there, those guys that write those checks, don't think there's a really a big demand for Boogie right now. And what that comes down to is uncertainty of his health, not his play. And no Boogie can play. He can play, but is he healthy enough to come out and do what he needs to? I think that's what the holdup is right now.
And then the thing is that you would have think he would have been signed by now. So I don't know.
Well, again, now he's sitting in he's in that Kawhi vacuum. Everything it's not that he's necessarily going to go where Kawhi is, but people sitting out there who may want Boogie. I got to keep my money so I can go after if those that are interested in Kawhi or what's around Kawhi, how I spend my money. I need to know where he is first. Then I know and then once he commits, then I know what's left out there. Who's out there? How can I get? So yeah, he's caught up in that vacuum as well. I think he'll be playing somewhere next year. They might give him a 1-year contract somewhere, but he'll be playing.
Yeah, Danielle said it because even for me, he did look out of shape and he looked a little overweight.
Well, he came back from a long-term injury. He got
Right.
back to playing. He was playing well. Then he went down again. Different injury, but he went down again. And when he came back, he was playing in the playoffs. So the whole game, the whole spirit of the game is different now. It's a lot on the line, and he had already been out majority of the season. He came back his first few games out, but he looked pretty good, and he may very well have been in pretty decent shape. I don't think he was 100% in shape, but he was in good, decent shape, working toward playing shape. Then he got hurt again. He was out several times. I don't think he was in the best of shape by that time. But he gave a heck of an effort. Though he had a couple of nights there when Boogie looked like Boogie of old. So I think he's personally, if I was doing it, I would be concerned about his health, but I think he's a worthwhile investment. Maybe not the long-term deal he wants right now, but because for me, if I'm writing a check, I want to know that he can go a whole season. That he's ready to play that kind of basketball. So in order to do that, you got to take a chance on him. So I might be looking at a 1-year deal, a 1-and-1 and 1 year sign, and then an option for the second year.
Out of all these free agents and all the conversation that's been going on, the funny thing is I haven't heard anybody say anything about one of your favorite players.
Yes, they have talked about him. They have talked about Carmelo Anthony going out to the Lakers. Once again, I would stay away from the Lakers because they're insane out there. Those people out there are lost their freaking mind. Why would you pick? Okay, don't get me started, but since you started, let me go ahead. Why would you explain to me what would Anthony? He doesn't bring anything to the locker room. He can't defend a bucket on the sideline, much less a player on the floor. I don't get it. He can shoot the ball a little bit. He don't shoot like he used to. Nobody does. He's not that kind of a player, and he wants to start. Is he nuts? Now, I mean, so why? If they want to have a family reunion, yeah, go ahead and bring on. They talking about bringing back Lance Stevenson. Why? I mean, why? You know, when they should be signing Rondo, they need a point guard. They need some shooters around. I would never, if I was a player, no, I wouldn't go to LA. I just couldn't. Not yet.
Well, well, I'm trying to understand what Donnell is saying about Melo don't have much of a choice. Yeah.
Nobody else wants him.
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, here he is. He's Carmelo Anthony, and what he was just sitting around, and nobody said, "Come on, man, come on, we got you."
Well, LeBron,
I think he missed like the half of the. And now,
play with us.
Still nobody's
LeBron
talking about.
said,
I mean, still nobody has signed him. So,
who else want him? Don't nobody else. The only reason they want him is so they can all they can all go out and eat together. I mean, why would you sign him? I mean, that's my point. He doesn't want to take the old man role. He don't want to come off the bench. He don't want to do reduced minutes. He don't want to be the fourth option or the third or the fifth option, and whatever be the case. Then where you gonna play? Didn't you? I mean, I would ask him. Did you see the draft most recently? You see all this young talent coming in. All these kids in the G League that's been playing 2 and 3 years, just can shoot the basketball, can do the things that you can't do, and that's play defense and then shoot the ball, and they're younger than you. What, you crazy? Gotta be nuts. You know, and yes, he's the only place he should go, but why do they want him? I don't get it. I'm having difficulties understanding that. I just don't get it. I just can't. I mean, you could tell me any other player, but him. I don't see why you would want to get him.
He should go over to China. There's a market for him.
That's what he should do.
China. He can go over to
That's
China.
what he should do. He'd be a
That's
hero
the market
over
for him
there.
right
All
now.
they want him to do is shoot.
Huh?
They don't
What
want
was
him.
Now there's one player that that's on my radar that I want to watch grow in the NBA, and that's Manute Bol's son.
Bol.
Yeah.
He's facing a huge challenge. The same thing Taco Falls is facing. And of course, right now Taco is so far with the Celtics, and he signed a 1-year rookie contract. Same thing as Dawkins' son did also, 1 year. And Chad Brown, UCF from Deltona, Florida, and B.J. Taylor from UCF right there in Orlando are playing on the Magic Summer League. So they'll be playing out in Vegas next week. The word on both of them, now they're saying Taco has surprised them a little bit. The problem is the league, the type of big men. Now, Bowler can shoot the ball. He's not like his daddy. He actually shoots the ball well, but can he cover the perimeter? Can he get up and down the floor? He's so big, so tall and stuff. And the league is small ball now. That was a concern about Taco, but they said so far he's been very impressive. I've not heard much about Bowler right now, but this kid can shoot though. Gosh, dog, if he get in the right situation, he can shoot the ball.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is according to what was said was that he was supposed to have been the steal of the draft. I mean, I've been watching some of his highlights over the last couple of years. I was very impressed.
It could be, depending upon where he go.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not, for me to stop a ball that's being played out there, if you look at the guys that are out there, I mean, there may be more to him than we've seen already. And that's the one thing where those guys, they see a lot more than we see. And plus they had him in camp and they've had a chance. They took him in a workout and all of that. So and if they do take him, he's going to develop some more skills. There's no question about that. So he could be what they want him to be. He could be.
Donnell said he's
I'm
he's
interested
a good,
to see, my
offensive player.
hometown. Well, you got to play defense in this league as well. And there's a slight turn toward defensive execution out there now. There's not just run up and down the floor anymore. I mean, everybody's trying to push it up, but they want to play better defense now. I'm excited for B.J. Taylor. I had a chance to be a part of the coaching staff with him when he was in high school. Got a chance to watch him over at UCF, and now I mean I'm excited that he did get a shot on the Magic Summer League team. That's somebody I'm watching very, very closely to see how it works out for him. I'm really excited for him and hope that he has a great summer league, and perhaps when the season starts, he'll get signed with the team. I'm also looking for Joe Barry, a former Carolina player out of Lake Mary, right there in the Orlando area, was on the on the Lakers G League team. He didn't play in Sacramento, so there's a possibility he may be playing in when they get to Vegas. Tony Bradley from over in Polk County, whom I had I had a brief opportunity to coach him for half a summer out of Bartow. He just re-signed with the G League Utah team for additional 3 years, but he played in the last 2 games that I saw him play in the Utah Summer League games. 2 games he played very well, so he's progressing. So now they're on their way out to Vegas. So he may get a chance to get in. You know, I mean he got a good shot. So those are those are kids, not necessarily because I know them, but because I know their background, if you will. That's who I'm kind of watching right now to see their local favorites. They're from right around our area, and I'm curious to see how it works out for them.
I looked and I was surprised to see Isaiah Thomas went to the Wizards.
Isaiah has struggled since his injury.
Right.
I actually thought he was out the league.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is,
anything about him.
I mean, here he was balling in Boston. I think he was averaging 28 points, like talking about the MVP of the league and da da da. Then all of a sudden that injury happened, and it's like a whole nother world.
It's different, man. It's. I mean, I listen to all these guys talk about KD's injury. They're talking because a couple of guys have had that. They're talking about Clay's injury. And it's tough. Now, one of the things that they're saying that I agree with the modern medical updates that we have, they can enhance some of this as far as recovery. But there, in some places, there's nothing they can do. It's just time. I think the procedural efforts with the new technology, it's cleaner, it's faster, and all of that, but the healing process is the healing process. So I don't think you can overcome that. You can do a great surgery, though. They can have great surgery and so forth. I understand Clay had his the other day, went very well. They're looking for him from 5 to 7 months before he'll be back. They believe possibly he's the kind of guy that may come back earlier, but now will they let him play? That's going to be the question. They may not let him play. And he's going to have to convince them that I can really go. But that's the thing. I mean, coming back from that injury, that's tough. And that some of those guys, they're not young guys anymore. They're not young.
Danae was talking about, worse, really bad hip injury. Tony B from the Tar Heels. Was that the guard?
Tony who?
Tony. What's the guard that played for North Carolina that was drafted? I think he was drafted like 8th. The guard that played for North Carolina. That had
what year?
The hair. What's his name?
Oh, Kobe White.
Oh, Kobe White. Kobe White.
Yeah, he's going to Chicago.
How you think he's going to do?
It'll be interesting. I think he's going into a system that's going to accommodate him. Obviously, he's got some things he's got to learn. He's got a great motor. He can shoot the ball. He can create. The upside, according to what the experts are saying, is that he could have a good career. That's based on him meeting his potential. He brings a lot to the table. He's does a good job. Well, I thought he did a good job of running the offense. There was sometime I thought he forced it a little bit. But overall, I thought he did a good job of commanding the team, shot the ball well, played decent defense. I believe he in that system as it
Right.
exists right now, he will do pretty well. He'll do well. Now we'll see, and we'll get a real shot at looking at what he looks like when they get on the floor next week. Same thing for Zion Williamson. He's going to get a chance. We're going to get a chance to see what he really looks like. R.J. Barrett up at the Knicks, because the Pelicans and the Knicks play each other, so it'll be interesting to see how they compete. Not necessarily against each other, but more or less on the floor as a team, individually, what they do and how they. Because all of them got a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. And so it's
Well,
going to be interesting to see.
Danielle was talking about Tony Bradley. Tony Bradley.
Tony Bradley he's a big man. That's the guy I was talking about.
Right.
He played he was in the G League for 3 years. He re-signed another 3 years with the Utah in their G League, but he played a little bit last year. He played very well in the Utah League. He didn't play the last night because they're saving him for Vegas. He's got a real good upswing, a good body. He's lost some weight, playing more aggressive than he was, even more than he was before. He has some real good upside. They're real high on him right now, but he hasn't been called up yet. He's still a G League player. He hasn't been called up on that two-way or anything like that. But Tony is reaching that point of maturity now. I believe that he may be in a good place to get up, because Utah's a strong team. That's the part of the problem. Is trying to crack that lineup. Now they just made some trades that might open the door for him. He looked good in the games that I saw. I mean, he had double doubles. He was aggressive on the rebounding, both boards, offense and defense. Nice offensive moves. He can shoot the ball. He can actually put it on the floor. And he ran, and he's lost weight. His body's not as. I think he could put on a little bit of muscle, if you will, but he's lost a lot of weight. I mean, he looks good and he's moving good, and they're really high on him. So we'll see what happens when he gets to Vegas.
Yeah. Danielle first he was saying that Kobe White, that's one of his favorite players.
Yeah,
I'm,
like the kid.
yeah, I'm gonna see how he transitioned to the next level. Yeah, that's
Right.
going to be interesting. But Danielle is saying the reason why Friday night, the first night, is sold out because Zion and Barry are going to be going against each other, I guess.
Right. The Pelicans and the Knicks play the first night.
Yeah, yeah. So well, of course, that probably going to be on ESPN, of course. You know.
Well, they're televising all of the games on ESPN, NBA TV, ESPNU, ESPN2. They're doing the same thing they did last year. They gave great coverage for the summer league, almost like being there. I miss being there so much, but it kind of fills that void because you can see most of the games. So that's a game that everybody's going to want to see that. It's going to see how well both of them transition. And I don't know if one game is going to say that because they've only been practicing for a few days. But you'll see as it goes along. At least you kind of get some idea what kind of player, what kind of situation you think they'll be in.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to.
And you really can't tell because once again, they're still playing against their peers. They're rookies like themselves, second-year players, maybe even third-year players. You're going to really tell it when you put them on the floor against veterans. That's when we're going to find out exactly how well they transition the game.
Well, I'm asking, and I asked Danielle, and I ask you, and just your opinion, what you think or how you think the Pelicans are going to be, New Orleans is going to be coming up.
Well, looking on paper, they're going to be very interesting, I think. They've got some pieces that if they can pull and get a good chemistry together, and it's going to be interesting to see how they use Zion and how well he progresses and makes his transition. And the pieces they got around him, they got J.J. Redick. I was really surprised that they signed J.J. $26 million for 2 years. He can still shoot it. And he actually is evolved into a decent ball player. Part of that might have been his maturity too, getting an experienced ball player in there to help a lot of those young players. But he still can shoot. They got some good pieces, and I think they still got pieces to get. But they could be very interesting, without a shadow of a doubt. What I perceive from my personal opinion, they could be somebody interesting to watch.
Were you surprised with the Jimmy Butler trade? That
That he went to Miami, yes. The fact that he got traded, no.
because
He brings a cancer with him, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
well,
that
yeah.
that
Well,
that
that
was
was my
going to
question
create
when he
some
first went
problems.
there.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well,
I was shocked and I think that according to what I've been told, is that the way they treated Iguodala was kind of first class. They went to him and said, "Hey, listen, we we may have to trade you because of X, Y, and Z." So he knew it was coming. The thing that I offer is the possibility is that he got traded to Memphis. Memphis will most likely buy him out. That's what the word is. And then he might go to the Lakers. And I'm thinking, oh God, no. But what he could do, if he wanted to, he could go back to the Warriors for a lesser amount of money. So it'll be interesting to see how that scenario works out. Chandler Parsons, a local from down there in Florida,
right.
uh,
I was going to ask you about him.
over in Memphis, they moved him to the Hawks. Chandler's on his way out, but he still got an opportunity. He brings a little. If Chandler could stay healthy, I'm telling you, he would be a great pickup. His problem has been he just can't stay healthy. He's got injury after injury. His injuries put him down for a while. So that's been his Achilles heel. Not his Achilles heel physically, but just that thing that slows him down is not being healthy. So he's going to an organization that's young. They got some good pieces there. I don't know if they'll keep him or maybe they might trade him. That would be interesting to see. I don't know how much they're going to be able to get for him, but they gave away two decent players to Memphis to get him. So that's going to be interesting.
No. Well, the thing is that this upcoming season, which I think honestly is going to be a very interesting season because there's parity in the league. I think
It's
still,
close to it. Well, yeah, you're going to have more parity than you had before,
right.
and at least for a year.
And then the thing is that do you think that the Celtics got better?
I think they did. They're not
'Cause-
finished yet. I think they got to move Gordon Hayward, and because they got to get that team back to what it was. You know, the Celtics were a great. They both blessed and cursed themselves. When Irvin and Hayward was out, the thing that blessed them is those group of guys came together and they played their behinds off, and they really gave a heck of a run without all that talent. Now, the problem was when you brought that talent back is getting that talent to mesh in with the previous year, and that's where the train wreck took place. You couldn't mesh it together because you got those other guys who they played all season long and took them to the playoffs and got them deep in the playoffs. Now you bring in these other guys, and they're feeling I should be playing just as I'm summarizing, but they're feeling well I got to give up my minutes to give to him. He wasn't even here last year. And it just played itself out to be an absolute train wreck. Harford's gone, and then I think Irvin's gone. That's good. Harford I thought hurt. I was hoping he would go back, but he's gone. Irvin's gone. I think they're gonna move Hayward to get some young talent and then try to rekindle what they had. Yeah, I think they helped themselves.
Well, I'm going to be looking
Me
forward.
personally.
Well, of course, there's going to be some. I think there's going to be some more trades.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I'm telling you, when this Kawhi thing gets done, you're gonna see a whole lot of. You're gonna see some people, some things moving. Right now, people are kind of holding tight, because that in itself will create some fallout, and it's gonna, some people's like Danny Green from Toronto is kind of holding off on what he's going to do because all likelihood he's going to try to follow Kawhi. Is the word on the street. Now I don't know how true that is, but it appears that way anyway. Then it's just going to be a whole lot of things that are going to change. Now this summer league, once this summer league is over, some of these guys are going to get signed. Some of these guys are going to play on these rosters, and some of these guys are going to be two-way players, and some of these guys are going to end up going down in the G League. So it's a whole lot more movement that has to take place, and I do think there are one or two more trades that are going to take place before we actually go to camp to start the season.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we do know is that the Golden State Warriors, they're going to be a playoff team, but they're not going to be that dominant team. So
well,
I think next year they'll be, back to up,
That's what everybody's saying. The word from inside the Warriors world is that we're going to be as competitive as we can. They're making moves to be as competitive as they can. Are they going to lay down and take the year off? No, they're not going to do that.
No.
They're going into a brand new arena. They just signed big money to their basketball operations and president of the team. They're throwing money around. They just paid all that money to Clay and all of that. So they're gonna go out there and go after it. I think when Clay gets back, if he comes back, they're gonna be something to look at. Do I think they have enough to do it? Not enough together. I think if those guys had been playing together longer, I would give them a much better shot. By playoff time, they may be playing better, but I would agree that I think they'll make the playoffs. I just don't know if they'll be able to push past some of the other teams. But then again, the question I put on the table is we don't know how these other teams are going to fare either. We assume that some of the teams that we're looking at now will be in the playoff position. They may not be. They may not fare as well. So I don't know, but right now, if you look at it on paper, I think it's reasonable to assume that they may make the playoff, but may not win the championship. But we'll wait and see. I think they're going to be competitive without a doubt, and I think that's all you can ask for is to go out and compete every night as hard as you can. And then let's see. Now they're going to do a lot of load management. I definitely believe that. I think they're going to give Curry a lot of rest. He's going to get a lot of load management to kind of model what they did with Kawhi. They did a lot of load management with him. That's games off during the season, so he was strong and healthier from the playoff. I think they're going to try to save Curry for the year as best they can. But then again, Curry now doesn't have to share the ball with anybody. There's no other shooters out there. Clay's not there. KD's gonna go back to doing what he was doing before and hitting some big shots. You're just going to see. The question would be how will the complementary players do? I'm so happy they re-signed Kevin Looney. I'm excited for that young man. I thought that they kind of, the media maybe mistreated him, but this kid played his heart out, really gave them all he had, played injured and all of that, and then they gave him a great deal to sign him back. So I'm happy for that. I'm really happy about that.
Have you been? I think I asked you about following tennis. Did you see?
I was.
Name is Coco, the little 15-year-old girl.
I saw that match, and I was really surprised that she. I thought Venus handled it with so much class and professionalism, and this young girl goes to the net and tell her that she's her idol. And growing up in the world of tennis, and I think Venus was, very complimentary of her. Hey, you'll do well. Then she goes out, she wins again today, if I'm not mistaken. I think she won again today. She kind of looks like Venus in a sense in the way she plays, her play on the court. Now it'll be very interesting to see her go up against Serena, if Serena's playing her type of game, because her game and Venus' game is totally different. However, this young lady is lighting it up, and I'm excited because she's so young and she seems so poised.
15 years old, man.
Yeah, 15. I mean, she really, and she looks like a professional. I mean, she handled herself like a professional out there on the court. Her emotions came through, but that's all of us do that. But I thought under pressure, she stayed in control and stayed focused.
Wow, yeah. It's like, who is this?
Yeah, I was shocked when she won. I was like, oh my gosh, this kid won? Because I saw them playing, and I was like, But I thought Venus would overtake her. But this girl was hitting the ball really good.
Yeah. Uh, the game is good hands for sure. I was reading Donnell. He said the big re-signing for Golden State was cheap too. So I guess he's saying that the Golden State Warriors got some re-signing for a good price cost, where it didn't cost them a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree
yeah,
with that.
yeah. Young Coco will be a force. The game is in good hands for foreseeable future, which means it looks like little Coco gonna be around for a while.
Well,
Tennis.
she's playing. The challenge right now was what I always thought that made Michael Jordan so much different than everybody else is getting on top and staying on top. Prepared. Kobe did a good job of that too. He got on top and he stayed on top. He worked to stay on top. He didn't relax. In fact, he worked harder. Michael worked harder when he got on top. And he just continued to be the best he can be. And I think during Serena Venus's time when they got on top, they did it also. This would be the key for her, in my opinion, is regardless how she comes out of this this uh, this event, having gone having performed as she has performed thus far, and whatever be that outcome is to stay there, to get back, to move step from there. Don't go back. Don't look at this as a fantasy run. Look at this as a real run. I will improve from here going forward. I agree with Donnell. The game is in good hands if she does that, and hopefully her camp will encourage her to do that. Don't look at this as a fantasy run. Don't look at it that, oh, I played my idol and I did well. Okay, now I can relax. I played my idol. I won. I should kick it up to another level, and hopefully her camp will do that for her.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you earlier about Zeke. What was going on with him? What was that about?
He had some altercation out there in Vegas, probably on the strip.
Now you know why
And
the nail don't go on the strip.
yeah, but I tell Donnell he ain't got to. I got it covered for him. But he went back. He met with the commissioner and he apologized and kind of straightened out what happened out there. So he's not going to be suspended. So and he didn't levy any kind of fine against him. So he got away with that one. But he apologized for it. They had a one-on-one, face-to-face, which I thought was good way to handle it. And he explained himself, and they came to some agreement. And then he apologized, and they let him get out, so they let it go away.
Yeah, a sad day in baseball. The young pitcher died. And I think he was like 27.
26, 27. I mean, and it happened. Well, I use the term unexpectedly, and I say that in terms of he wasn't ill that I know of. He wasn't involved in any type of accident or anything like that. And that was so shocking. I saw that news, and I mean, I'm just kind of imagining what it was, what's that like for the players, and the fans, the family, and the players, and all that. We experienced something like that this past year at our high school. One of our football players died mid-season, and it was a tremendous shockwave throughout the school and the players on the team. So here again, I kind of wonder what kind of impact. But those guys went in on played, which is probably what he would have wanted them to do anyway. But with such heavy hearts, that's got to be tough.
Yeah. Donnell said that he was at a big music festival, I guess, before it happened. So I'm not sure that he had a few drinks or, whatever. you know, and then, nothing against him. And I'm not necessarily talking about him, but you know, when you in your 20s, when you're young, you know, you're invincible. You think,
Yeah.
yeah, you,
You think so anyway?
yeah, yeah, and you, life kind of teach you lessons later on, but it's
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those
it
things
does.
you just never know, you know.
Yeah, and I guess we will find out if it was genetic or something like that that came about that put him in that situation. But I hadn't heard anything thus far to say that yay or nay.
Well, I mean, they did the autopsy, but they said it's going to take, I guess, you know, a while for it to come back. Is
Yeah, it takes a toxicology and all that. That takes a little bit longer than just to open them up and look at some organs. But when they got to send up all that toxicology, that takes longer than I thought it did for it to be processed and then analyzed and then sent back.
okay.
Hey,
In
those
20
women soccer
year,
players, man, what
man,
about
and
that?
yeah, yeah. Well, I was actually, Danielle, I was going to say that, but you said it for us. He said, when you in your 20s and you're a millionaire, can anybody tell you anything, Vince? Will you listen?
Probably most of the time, no.
No,
Most of the time, no.
no.
And
When
I
you in
mean,
your 20s, no.
when I was in my 20s and I wasn't a millionaire, you couldn't tell me anything.
Right about that. Same here.
Yeah, I was nowhere near. I wasn't even a hundred there, and you couldn't tell me nothing. So I get it if you got a million plus.
That is so true. Oh man. Well, listen. I mean, we got to talk about this again before we leave, and that's coming up on the 13th, and that is the.
But let's not forget to mention too about the ladies soccer over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
They've
yeah.
been
Well,
on
yeah, I
they've
mean,
been on fire.
I mean, we was gonna get to that. I mean, I was gonna get to that, but yeah, 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 yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we
I
can
was gonna
talk
say
about the ladies soccer.
they on fire over there. They're doing some real. I mean, they're just out of the box at what they're doing, and they don't know their opponent yet. But they've been playing such
Oh,
outstanding.
yes, they do. Oh man, yes, they do. I was trying to think, but yeah, they know who they're gonna play.
Well, it must have happened because earlier today they didn't know. They were
Yeah.
waiting on a game, so maybe that yeah.
Okay.
But I gave they play so strong, dominant ball. I hope and I wish them well. Tip my hat to them that they would go out and take it all, just get it all. They're doing so well.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I watched the last two games, and so I guess now I'm a soccer fan.
I'm warming up to hockey because that's what's up here.
Well, see,
You got
but see, hockey is so much. It's so different watching it in person than it is on TV because it's a fast paced physical game, and it's so much better watching it in person than it is on TV. Actually,
yeah.
TV really doesn't give it any justice.
Yeah, I haven't been to two of them, and didn't like it at the time. I've kind of watched a little bit on TV, and this coming season, I will probably go to a couple of games because everybody keeps telling me it's amazing, the environment and what I've seen, and the people I've talked to who've actually been involved. They say it's unbelievable. You have to be there. So I'm kind of looking forward to go to that. Soccer, I like. I like men's soccer a little bit more than I do ladies soccer, but what the U.S. is doing right now is making me a U.S. ladies soccer fan as well because I'm really enjoying watching them play. It's when a game is played at its highest level, to me it's so exciting. It's so different than the average play. It heightens the experience when you see those athletes execute at such a high level. It changes the game. The game looks so different when they're doing it. So yeah, so they got my attention. I'm excited.
Well, like I said, leave it up to Danelle. It's the Netherlands. They're playing the Netherlands for the finals.
Okay.
So I knew I heard it
All right.
earlier. I just didn't remember who it was. So thank
Well,
you, Danielle.
that should be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, again, July 13th, the headliner.
Looking forward to having. I hope that we have some parents and some athletes will come out and let's discuss what it's like to be a young athlete in today's athletic arena, preparing for the next step. Some do's and don'ts we can talk about, some experiences that we can share, and take some questions from you from some of the situations that you're facing, and offer some advice. Hopefully, we'll have some other people on the panel that can address some of their concerns, share some experiences that can help make that parent coach player relationship so much stronger, much more an advantage to the young athlete that you can enjoy their next step. Look forward to talking with you. Love to come and talk, have that conversation. Hopefully we can help you. Maybe you can help us by sharing some information, your experience with us as well. We look forward to seeing you. I'm excited to be there to share with you the passion that I have for this game and to hear your passion. Don't miss it. Be there July 13th. We look forward to seeing you.
And for questions or comment, if you'd like to register, you can send it to this email address for sure. For sure, for sure. You can also text us at this phone number right here as well. Looking forward to seeing you. That means that you're going to be in Florida sometime soon.
I will be. My estimated time of arrival is changing back and forth, but I think I should be there no later than the 12th, if not before.
Danielle said great show, but Danielle, you the one that makes it a great show as well, man. People need
Absolutely.
people need to check out Let the Ball Bounce right, on Facebook, because if you really want to get into some serious sports and some sports fans, check out Let the Ball Bounce. Man, I'm telling you, man, you talking about some crazy sports fans, man.
They get out there. I love them.
I mean, it's kind of like the Cub fans, the Raider fans, those crazy Raider fans, like when you go to Philly, the Philly, when they booed Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's like,
it's different.
Who booed Santa Claus?
Yeah, them folk. I
Those
mean, I love
crazy
it out there. That's
fans.
what I love about that part of the world. They express themselves.
Yeah, man, they get deep into it, man. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they cover
So
something
I
every
said,
day.
continue doing great work.
You can go there and find out about the water boy.
Yeah. They cover some interesting stuff now. I've got some information from them a couple of times too. And I'm like, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah, let the ball bounce. Yeah, so appreciate the love. Oh yeah, no man. Yeah. And there is a chance you may go out to Vegas though, right?
It's starting to become very slim because they start Friday. And I got to fit that in before getting to Florida. I don't know if I can do that or not. So I'm starting to think, but I plan to go. It'll probably be after this. Probably won't be during the summer league. Because a couple of guys out there that I know from officials out there that they're working the summer league. We got these young players out there, some of the agents and some of the scouts. And I really hate that I'm not there because every time I go, I have a ball because I can just sit and watch basketball all day long. That's great, man. For me, that's fantastic. And you get a chance to see so many different people. So, but it's not looking good for me right now. And I'm real disappointed.
Okay, well,
so I'll be glued to the TV.
Yeah, because.
But if it changes, I'll let you know.
I was going to try to go out there with you. I was going to try to meet you out there. But,
Yeah,
I needed to know ahead of time, though.
Well, I'll know for sure in the next day.
Okay.
Right after the 4th, I'll know for sure. I kind of know now, but we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, this is Youth Central Sports, where we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. And once in a while, Goose joins us from Let the Ball Bounce. And again, you need to check those guys out. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a a screen capture. So when I talk about it, I can put it up and it gives all the information and people know where to go and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, look them up on Facebook, and I think they're on Saturdays. Yeah, I think they're on. Danielle, when are you guys on, real quick? When are you guys on? Hit me up real quick. But we're here every Wednesday at 11 p.m. at www.youthcentralsports.com. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and would appreciate that as well. Charles Morse, just the original Coach Carter. The original Coach Carter. And, you keep saying that we're going to have to invite Coach Carter from the movie on because he's a real interesting guy.
He is indeed. He's different.
Okay, we have a special show live from the West Gate next Saturday. What time, Danielle? What time next Saturday? What time? I'm hoping that he'll give me the time for next Saturday where people can tune in to let the ball bounce. It's 2 p.m. Pacific time, and Saturday 2 p.m. Pacific, and Tuesday from 6 p.m. starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure that you check them out. Let the ball bounce. Look them up on Facebook. And if you're a true sports fan, and if you know sports like they know sports, then you definitely would enjoy it because they really get into it. And you have some real interesting guests on as well. So again, Saturday, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6. No, I'm sorry, from 2 to 5, Saturday. Yep. Tuesday. I'm trying to make sure I don't screw this up. So he said 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Pacific time to 5. Okay. Nope. That's 5 Eastern Standard Time. See? I need my glasses, Vince. I'm sorry if I'm screwing it up.
Believe me, I understand that.
Well, actually, Danielle, next week we're going to invite you on the show. So you get your laptop, get some Wi-Fi with a webcam, and you can come and join us. All right? So next Wednesday, get your Wi-Fi, your webcam, and I'm going to give you the password so you can log on. You can join us on the show next Wednesday, okay? That's a thumbs up, right? Okay. Again, Youth Central Sports right here at Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, www.youthcentralsports, where we come to you every Wednesday. Enjoy your week. For those who are here in Florida,
Happy 4th
everyone
of July.
have a safe and happy 4th of July. A safe and happy 4th of July. A safe and happy 4th of July.